The ordinance is a little non-standard in as much as what's happened here is we've included the resolution at the top, and then we have a bunch of whereas clauses after. So there's really two problems. The first is that the resolution text of number 5, which everyone remembers is the famous second sentence, still exists in its previous form in this ordinance. And there's a final whereas clause that says the community, and I can bring it up here, I'll just read it. And be it further resolved that the Chestertown Human Rights Commission be empowered to investigate and resolve allegations of racial discrimination in employment, housing, by town agencies and by businesses. So I think we agreed, albeit informally, that those should be removed, and I stand corrected.
Yeah, I'm not unfortunate, but we've already voted on the resolution and it's been passed into record.
Well, the resolution is correct. It's the resolution text that's in this ordinance that's wrong.
What we're talking about tonight is the Human Rights Commission. We've already passed the resolution. That's not even on the table anymore. We have to sign off on it.
That's right.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
We're still, what we're doing tonight is making the decision either to pass or deny the Human Rights Commission as outlined in the resolution that we have already passed and adopted.
However,
we've already passed
the text. Well, now I'm speaking. However, the text in the ordinance copies the resolution in its previous state. So if we pass it as written tonight, we will ultimately be passing an ordinance that allows investigations and it allows independence of the Human Rights Commission. Those are the two things that currently exist in the resolution, in the ordinance tonight. And that's I think what we're talking about. So right now in the draft ordinance, it says number 5, and bear with me while I change the look here. Number 5, commit to establishing a Human Rights Commission to be empowered as an independent board with the task of gathering information for review of analyzing data and making necessary recommendations toward the effort of resolving allegations of discrimination and so forth and so on. And this is the text that was previously in the resolution, but that we ultimately voted to change, right? It never made it into this copy, is the point.
I'm going to ask this question because we've been up and down this road for a while. Just exactly what really is your problem with this ordinance and this resolution? What is the real problem behind this?
I don't have a problem with it. In fact, I'm generally supportive of it, Els. I'm simply stating that the resolution as it's currently written is not accurate, or the ordinance rather, as it's currently written, is not accurate. We changed the text of number 5 when we passed the resolution, and that's fine. I think it's great. We removed essentially the word independent, but that text is not contained in the draft ordinance that we reviewed publicly last 2 weeks ago and that we're taking up tonight, and it should be changed to match the text of the resolution or removed. And I'd be happy to make an amendment resolution. In fact, I have it right here.
Yeah, I got that, and we're going to talk about that too.
Okay.
Go ahead and finish.
So I'm just going to make a resolution to amend the current ordinance and remove the preamble section and replace that text with a purpose statement to read, the purpose of this commission is to encourage and ensure that all persons residing or visiting Chestertown, Maryland, regardless of their age, race, religion, color, sex, ancestry, national origin, disability, marital status, or sexual orientation may enjoy equal opportunity to live, grow, work, learn, play, worship, and exercise the responsibilities of citizenship unhampered by invidious, I love that word, unlawful discrimination in compliance with the applicable federal, state, and local laws and regulations. Further, a mission statement. The missions of the Chestertown Human Rights Commission includes developing positive human relations in Chestertown, Maryland, education and encouragement of greater respect and understanding of diversity and equal opportunity rights among Chestertown residents. Advancing means for alleviating social friction and prejudice and furthering the American ideal of equality and justice. So this text that I just read would replace the preamble section prior to, and let me just go to, so that we're all clear, prior to be it finally resolved. And I need a second.
Well, we haven't even voted on the initial motion yet before you can get a second one on the amendment.
I can propose amendments to the main motion, and that's what I'm doing here.
I want to see who's going to second.
I'd like to ask a question. I don't know whether I can ask it while we're waiting for a second or not. Anybody, Robert's rules here?
You technically can't. We either
Okay.
second the motion for discussion purposes, or the motion dies.
I'll second it because I would like more discussion on this.
Okay. So essentially, this alleviates the problem of the disjointed text between the resolution and the ordinance, specifically in number 5, and it also alleviates the problem of the question of investigation. And I will say further, it offers a broader statement to acknowledge the human rights of our seniors, persons with disabilities who use wheelchairs or have other disabilities, members of the queer or LGBTQIA community, and so forth. So it broadens the definition a bit more.
So Tom, your proposal basically changes number 5 completely and makes it more inclusive to other areas of discrimination, correct?
No,
Investigate clause.
it removes from the first whereas all the way through to be it finally resolved. So it essentially removes whereas, I'm not going to read it all, but whereas the town council adopted resolution 03/2020 Black Lives Matter on October 5th, 2020, recognizing that Chestertown has a documented history of overt structural racism, which was originally designed to prevent African Americans from equal access to housing, education, and employment, recreation, dining, and voting, and whereas Chestertown resides, and this is the resolution text that we have all adopted, all the way through to be it finally resolved. We would leave be it finally resolved and replace that middle text with my 2 statements.
Man, it's hard to visualize all these changes, Tom.
Yeah.
I can certainly show them.
No, that's okay.
Oh no, I'd be happy to. It'll only take a second. And well, okay. At this point, so we're in an amendment resolution. So I can actually make this motion. So I move that we move this to committee of the whole, and that is to say that that we as a group, we as a 5-member body, step back from this, because I have a lot of changes to this, all in line with what I'm talking about here. I'm a huge fan of creating the Human Rights Commission. I'm not a huge fan of the ordinance as it currently stands. So I'd like to make another motion that we move to commit this to a committee of the whole. The rules of that committee would be to have a quorum of 3 members present